And I will introduce the Toastmaster for tonight, and Toastmaster is me. And looking at the agenda, I'll just go over the roles. First, we'll have our general evaluator, Sean, to introduce general evaluator.
Yes, I'll be evaluating the flow of the meeting and go over the timers report for Marion, counter, and just evaluate the meeting.
Yes. The grammarian, what the timer will be, we'll go through the timer. The timer is David.
Hi, David. I'll be the timer. I will be timing each speaker. Green will be the first indication that you've reached the minimum time. Yellow is start wrapping it up, and red you should finish shortly after it goes to red. And if you go much longer than that, I'll throw the timer at you.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay. Our grammarian and all counter for tonight will be Olivia.
Good evening, everyone. The role of the grammarian is to listen for any misuse of the English language. I will take note of that during evaluations and speeches, and I will give my report at the appropriate time, at the end with the general evaluator. Also, the all counter, that responsibility is for listening for filler words, and so, like, and whenever there's a word that's possibly a filler word, I will count them up. So if you say 6 times or what have you, I'll give that report also during the general evaluation of the meeting.
All right. Our table topics master for tonight will be Donovan.
Basically, table topics is mainly short and awkward speeches and stuff. So I do it 2 ways. One, I can introduce the topic and ask volunteers, or I would ask a volunteer and then ask a question.
All right, thank you. Since we have no prepared speeches for tonight, we will have an extended table topics up until 7:20 p.m. And our table topics master for tonight will be Donovan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I guess since there's not much today, I would, this time, I'm just gonna ask for a volunteer. Does anyone want to volunteer? Please. Your question is, how would you describe freedom in your own words?
Thank you. The question I was asked is, how would I describe freedom in my own words? Freedom is, in the most technical term, is the ability to do what you want anytime you want. In more practical terms, freedom is doing what you want when you want, as long as you don't harm someone else or infringe on someone else. Freedom in the United States, we have freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom to bear arms. We have the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. And many people hold that dear in their hearts. No matter what side of the political spectrum you are, there is something in the Bill of Rights that you hold dear. So that is my summation of what freedom is, Mr. Hilltoppers Master.
Thank you. Who would go next? John? Your question is, when you close your eyes, what do you see on what you can do for our country?
Can you ask her? I like John F. Kennedy's words in his speech from long ago where he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And, you're really just trying to, if we all just try and leave our country a better place and just use the talents, God-given talents, and use them the best you can, I really think that would help our country. So when I close my eyes, I guess I think about those things. Most of the time I get distracted by other day-to-day stuff, and then sometimes when I close my eyes I just get sleepy and fall asleep. So Mr. Table Topics Master.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question that's non-people. So, a dystopia is one of the trouble place. Well, people are being not abused, but being looked down upon. How would you describe how a dystopia might change the way of life?
You said dystopia, right?
Correct.
What is the definition of dystopia again?
That's the opposite of a utopia. So, a dystopia is basically destruction of the world. Well, no, sorry. A dystopia is mainly a type of society that degrades people. Olivia?
Did you just volunteer me? Okay.
You never volunteer.
Think like Hunger Games.
I don't watch movies.
Oh, okay.
Shoot. The question is, thank you, by the way. The question is, how would I feel tempted?
The question is, a dystopia is basically a society where it degrades people. How does that affect, how does the opposite, okay, a dystopia is basically a society where it's degrading people. How does that affect worldwide issues?
How does that affect issues? My question is dystopia, opposite of utopia, which is a word that I use often. Utopia, and utopia. When I think of that, think of happiness, of peace, sort of like floating above the ground where you have no worries, no cares. Every day is sunny and the temperature is just right. So dystopia, you're telling me, is just the opposite. And that sounds terrible. How would that affect the world? I tell you what, you would have to really cling to your faith. You would have to dig inside for some inner power, for some spiritual aspect to take over, because with that much sadness and gloom and doom and destruction, I would imagine that you would spend a lot of time trying to blot it out, act as if it wasn't there. So it would be devastating and destructive, but maybe it would really help with your imagination, because you would definitely have to try to ignore what's going on around you. So that's how I think dystopia would affect the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Speaking in more of that context, if you had the opportunity, if you had the opportunity to get a message across to a large group of people, what would your message be? In the case of being in dystopia, you would know that you're not allowed to speak up.
I guess it's my turn.
Go ahead.
Hi. Hard to say. Living in a dystopia society where people are degraded is a very difficult thing, and speaking to a large group of people about it with the risk of being condemned or punished is an even scarier thing. But if I was in that position, I would hope that I had the courage to do that. And what I would say is that we are all people, we all look out for one another. There's things we can control, and there are things we cannot control. The things we can control, we need to work on, and the things we cannot control, maybe there will come a time where we can make some progress. But we all need to stick together and love one another, despite the terrible circumstances that we are in. Furthermore, it's not all as hopeless as it might seem. Sometimes the worst things that can happen in our life can sometimes result in the best outcome. If I don't suffer hardships, I'll never appreciate the good things that can come as a result. So this is something that we all need to work towards and work together as a group. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take that type of subject by dystopias. So my question to y'all is, if your country is overruled by an opposite force of emotion, of military, or of anything that might distract you. If you think of the before time, before all that happens, what makes you proud of your own country and yourself into overcoming that dystopia that is happening now?
What makes me proud of myself or my country, even though I've been overtaken and now I'm in a dystopia society?
Yes. So basically the question is, if now, right now, the country is overruled by an opposite force or military or something like that. But before that time, how would you be proud of your country and yourself to be able to
Deal with where I am now.
yes.
How would I be proud of myself? Well, the only way I could not be proud of myself would be is if I became what I didn't like or became what I somewhat despised, part of that dystopia lifestyle. So I think if I can stay true to myself, and like David said, sometimes we go through the worst things that bring us to where we are. But in other words, no cross, no crown. So if I accept that I am in a bit of a struggle, I will remind myself of where we used to be as a country, and then try to work on ways to rid my country of this dystopia and fight to go back to some level of normalcy. That's how I would deal with it.
Thank you.
That's what made me proud, shall I say. Did you catch in that one?
Yeah.
Did you catch in that one? Were you doing this
I
one?
was not. I did not hear any. You're not an person. You don't do it.
I did the first time.
Did you? I think you were good.
I didn't notice any.
Okay. Then this and today's following the dystopia. Things aren't going as well as you think. Right now you're hunting people to kill, to go to the next level, to lock yourself up. So, when in this situation, when is it time to stop calculating risk and rewards? And just do what you know is right to protect your own country or yourself. And even though that people are different and people might be savages, what would help you push yourself to live another day?
I'll try it.
Go ahead.
So I find myself in a dystopia where things have gotten so bad that I'm hunting other people to kill. And at that point, first, I don't know, never having been in that situation in real life, it's very easy to say, oh, I would take the moral high ground, I would do the right thing, but I've never been there, so I don't know what I would do. But all I can tell you is what I hope I would do, what the person that's within me that would come out. And I hope that person would stop and think, what am I doing? You know, is this the life I want to live? Is this worth it? I mean, is surviving worth being an evil person? And I think the answer to that would be no. Not that I don't want to survive, I do, and I would do what I could to survive, but I would do it on my own terms. I would, as I alluded to earlier, I would try to find groups of people that I could see a better light, a better way of doing things. And I don't know what those things would be, but I think there are good people that would still be out there, and I would hope that I could use my persuasive abilities to group together and become our own entity, and then turn to other people and try to make the world a better place. But it's a really terrifying aspect, the idea of being there, and I don't know what I would really do. I don't think anybody can honestly answer that question if they haven't been in that situation. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to try.
Very good.
Okay, I only have time for 2 more. So this is fairly easy, but it's going to be on the same subject. So let's say that you're trying to protect yourself and you are scared of what's happening, but you have to do what you have to do to protect yourself, but also to have a type of cynosure to your inner self and define a symbol that will represent you. Like in the Hunger Games, and on Katniss trunk, she has a mockingjay burned on the trunk. That's her symbol. What would your symbol would be?
And this symbol is to identify who you are. Give me that first part of the question again.
The question is, in the Hunger Games, on Katniss trunk, but there's a clip of a mockingjay. What, in that type of situation, if you're in that type of situation, what symbol do you want on your trunk to help you to really get your inner spirit and to lash out to those people who are trying to kill you and kill them first? Kill you first before they kill you. Go ahead, Sean.
Think about your symbol.
Well, America's symbol, America's bird, the symbol of America's independence and independent freedom is the eagle, and that would be my symbol. The reason that would be my symbol is because the eagle is a very independent bird. It flies, it does not follow the flock of birds. I think Americans are, what makes us great is that we all can be our own people and come together and work things out as a body of people, a body of citizens in the country. Dystopia would be more of a group think where there would be a leader or somebody that everybody, a cynosure that everybody would gravitate towards and follow, and would not think for themselves and would not stand up for their fellow man. Mr. Tabletop.
Thank you. That wraps up the tabletop portion.
All right, thank you, Don. I'll get the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. At this time, we will have the general evaluation period. Me as a Toastmaster and him as the general evaluator, we have at least some degree of cynosure by being behind a lectern speaking to the members and guests. So at this time, we'll have the general evaluator, Sean.
Thank you, Maurice. You never fail to not use the word of the day. There's one constant. The sun comes up and the sun sets, and Maurice is always going to use the word of the day. Okay, so this time in our meeting, we'll have the general evaluation of the general evaluator. And we did not have any speeches tonight, any planned speeches, but we did have a good table topics session. A lot of it was built around the dystopia, which was very interesting. It really helps you appreciate being in America, and dystopia was definitely the cynosure of the table topics tonight, but I really felt like it brought us to a place that we didn't want to be, but it was interesting in that we were thinking in terms of being in that place, and so without further ado, I will get David. We'll start with the timers report.
Sure. Well, we'll start with me, David. I had 2 table topic talks. The first one was 1 minute 29 seconds. The second was 1 minute 44 seconds. Donovan was the table topics master or topic leader and did not speak on subject, so he doesn't have any times. Maurice spoke once for 1 minute and 9 seconds. Sean spoke for 1 minute and 1 second. And I also have you at 1 minute and 13 seconds on the second topic. You had 2?
I had 2.
2. And Olivia, I have at 1 minute and 24 seconds on her first talk and 54 seconds on her second talk. And that's my timer report.
Okay, thank you, David. And now, Olivia, would you give us the counter grammarian report, please?
And the word of the day. I am so glad that I get the opportunity to be the cynosure and go over the word of the day. And the word of the day is cynosure, a personal thing that is the center of attention or admiration. Right now, I'm the cynosure. So the general we had no prepared speeches, topics, I'm sorry. I am doing the all-counter report. Maurice, I didn't hear anything from you for the all-counter or grammarian in your table topic speech. Sean, in your first one, you had 2 uhs and 1 you know. In your second one, you had 2 uhs and 1 Olivia, in your first speech, I think I heard at least 1 Second one, I didn't hear any. David, you had 1 in your speech, and I just want to add that you have a very strong voice with some great volume. Your answers were awesome, and I even enjoyed your hand gestures. So,
Thank you.
Awesome job. In the general evaluation, Sean, as you were going over dystopia, you had a couple ums and one you know and one so. But no one had any misuse of the English language. That's it.
Who used the word of the day?
Oh, you were there, yeah. The word of the day was used twice by Sean, once by Maurice, and twice by Olivia.
I said central too.
You did this? Oh,
No.
no, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. Let me put that in there. Okay, thank you.
thank you, Olivia. Well, that concludes the general evaluation, and turn it over to Toast.
Yes.
All right, turn it over to our Toastmaster Maurice.
All right, thank you, Sean. There are no awards tonight, but we have an education overview.
Yes, I'll do it.
Okay, our education overview tonight will be conducted by Ms. Olivia.
Of course, we are here to enhance our public speaking as well as our leadership skills. So I looked up some ways tips to help launch your speaking into outer space. First thing you should do is know your audience. That makes a lot of sense to me. You wouldn't go to kindergartners talking about astrology. Just wouldn't make much sense. So at all costs, whenever possible, know your audience. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Go over it. Rehearse, practice with distractions. So let there be some noise in the background, a phone ringing, or any distractions that may occur when you're up in front of an audience giving your speech. Practice with distractions. Find a style that works for you. If you're not into, let's say you're not into poetry, then why get up and try to tell a poem? Find a style that works for you. Know the environment. When I looked up what that means as far as knowing the environment, I said this before when I've done the educational overview. Go ahead of time to where your prepared speech is going to be, and make sure you know how the stage is set up, you know, how big the arena is or the venue. Make sure you're aware of what the stage looks like, and if for some reason sound should go out or the lights should go out, what is your backup plan? What are you going to do? So know your environment. Test all your equipment to make sure that those type of things don't happen. Practice in front of a mirror. And most importantly, to launch your speaking into the next stratosphere, into outer space, is take every opportunity to speak. So, like we did tonight, it was only a few of us, so we had to get in there. Some of those questions were tough, but like you said, they really, and they were real thought provoking. Saying that right? So you had to really pay attention to what the question was, and it made you think outside the box a little bit. So those questions were good to have, but most importantly, don't give up an opportunity to speak. That's the only way we are going to really enhance our public speaking abilities. And that's it for our educational overview.
All right.
At this time, we'll take a few short minutes to see what roles that those here would like to have next week, at next week's meeting.
I will do table topics.
Okay, the table topics.
I'm gonna back up.
Backup speaker or backup?
Table topics.
Backup table topics, okay.
I'll be the Toastmaster.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'll do the title.
Hmm?
I'll be the title.
Okay.
I could be the awe counter.
All right.
Uh-oh. Did it stop?
Got it. Oh, I got it. Thanks. Okay, thank you for volunteering for roles. And if there's nothing else, we will adjourn this meeting 15 minutes early.